So, I've been playing around with Sketchucation's wrapper extension, UV mapping tool for SketchUp, and I had mapped this model, this low polygon car, previously and recorded it, but my screen recorder crashed midway through, so lost that. I'm going to try to repeat some of this, but this time with a more high density mesh subdivided. We can have a look at the control mesh, which was mapped. As you can see, the texture is seamlessly mapped across the whole surface. But at the moment I subdivide this, we can see it gets stretched, distorted some places. You can see well, for one, currently wrapper requires everything to be triangulated for the moment. I hope and I assume that just temporarily, and that with support for quads, this will actually be less of a problem. We can see as we have all these triangles, and in these areas here you get distortions, so it doesn't look smooth anymore. So I'm going to go back and try this again. Back to the original one. I made sure, using quad face tools, that everything was triangulated, so all the quads are split into triangles, because otherwise it's not going to import into wrapper properly. And I have a texture design, and I'm going to take that one and just take the front fender. And then I'm actually going to make, now all these materials are the same, but I want different materials in all these parts, so I'm going to take this material and create a new one, hood. Okay. And apply that one. And then other material. Door. Apply that one. And then red fender. Just apply that. Okay. Now I'm going to try to see how this goes with higher density mesh. This is going to look a bit more messy in wrapper. But let's see. It's relatively smooth. So center wrapper loads up, and yes, as you can see, it's kind of, I mean, we can't really do much in here right now given the density of things, but I do want to change the direction of the map so it's more logical, because I want to extract this unwrapped mesh into something I could play around with in Photoshop. So I'm going to hit U, which is going to enable vertex selection. I'm going to hit Q to rotate it Look at that. Let's zoom in. I want to look. Maybe it looks to align-ish on that edge. Ish around here, right? This is good enough. And I just want to move this so it's all contained. I need to scale it as well. Let's do that. Yes, the shortcuts are in large part the same as SketchUp, so you don't have to think too much about that. So M to move and Q to rotate and S to scale. One thing is I use U to activate vertex select, and then a spacebar, which is edge select. You can jump over to that selection. But yeah, that's all we need for the moment. So I'm going to hit save. Not entirely sure what this does behind the scene, but I'm still thinking this. You need to do this before you go back to SketchUp to reload. And it does its thing. It's such a big, dense mesh, and take a while. Let's wait for that to complete. This is a lot faster than the control mesh. It's just less. Oh, I'm missing something there. That shading looks a bit strange. That's around that area. That doesn't matter too much. It's just a test. I think I tried this before. It didn't seem to take that long. Or maybe I just broke it. That's a good possibility. Should have done this in a different sequence. I should have saved the UVs first, because then I could open that and start working on that. And then just let this do its thing. Or we might just kill it. Let's do that. Right. Should we try with a slightly less subdivision? We try that. Keep things faster. So I'm going to do that same thing. Select all of that, and I'm gonna rotate it. Looks good from top view. Looks alright here. It got this weird sort of bendy distortion going down there, but that's because of the curves. Yeah, that's fun. That's okay. And scale it down. Move. Right. That looks good. Now I'm going to do this first, just to be safe. I'm going to do save UVs, and then I'm going to do Fender sub D SAG. That's going to export this view, the right hand view, to SVG image. Then I'm going to do save, and I'm going to leave that working in the background. Just assume it's going to work. I'm going to create a new texture in Photoshop. Starting up for the blank thing and place linked. I'm going to find Fender sub D. I'm going to have that inserted into the image. This is going to be the guide for where we create a texture for. I like to create groups to organize my things in Photoshop. And I'm going to bring out these textures, which I got from a really nice site. It used to be called CG Textures. Now they renamed to textures.com, and this is a really good site to quickly get any kind of texture or references, anything. They have a good amount of seamless textures these days as well, so you don't have to do a lot of work. So I want to create some dents and stuff on this one, so I'm going to import that rusty dented little paint job, and yeah, that's fine. That's fine as a base, but I also want more rust around the arch rails, the wheel ones. So I'm going to pull in another texture, which is just plain rust. Leave that on top of that, and we can add a layer mask where we hide everything. Okay, I'm just going to switch to my tablet. I need a bigger desk. I have the space mouse, the keyboard, the tablet, and the mouse. I'm trying to switch between all of that. So I want a bigger brush. Nah, bigger. There we go. So I want this rust to come through here. So you can see the mask is all black, so we want to paint with all white. And that's going to bring up the visibility of that. And I want to get some rust under here, around the front, the lower part where it's been facing the ground a bit more. Further up. That's enough for that one. It's really simple, quick and dirty solution for that one. I just want to add, let's cancel that one. I want this to be solid. Just, there we go. I want that to be, I just don't want a transparent PNG. I want a solid texture out of this with no transparency. Because once you add transparency to a texture, it takes more processing time when you render it. Even if it's just like a single transparent pixel, it switches to rendering mode. Now the guide don't need that anymore. So this is the texture I want to bring back into SketchUp, and I'm gonna save it as Fender sub-D. That's a Photoshop. I don't think you can open Photoshop files in SketchUp, so I'm going to export it in PNG. Good practice anyway, because we don't want to embed huge Photoshop files into SketchUp. Now I'll look at this. Okay, so Wrapper has completed its thing. It has shown me a toolbar. That wasn't there before. Where did that come from? It's probably a glitch. So what we did, first we saved the UVs and we got the SVG for that one, which is why I created the Photoshop image from, and then I saved this, the UV mapping itself. Now I can close it, go back to SketchUp, and with the Wrapper, reload from Wrapper. If we hadn't saved this, then this wouldn't do anything. So, and there's another tiny glitch for the moment. It looks a bit disappearing, but we just need to jump back in, and it's there, and I can jump out. Now you can see the V from part of the matte text. You can see how it maps into that portion of it. Now let's go here. At this point I lost oh, at least I thought I lost. I'm not going to play with that right now. I'm better going to break it. But what we want to do now is get that material for the front fender, and you're going to find the PNG we created, Fender sub-D, and open it. I'm gonna toggle off the edges there, and let's have a look. So now you can clearly see it's been having airbrush stroke of rust around the corner. Bit too thick of a rim, but it shows the concept anyway. That's how you get seamless continuity across everything here. Now, let's see, let me go back to that one and do a soften edges. Soften co-planner. Soften, more soften, a lot of soften. There you go. This is now the shading is smoother. So, alright, that's that one. I want to try with one more, just to show how the UV unwrapping could be used to better define features in the texture you're going to create. Let me just save that one. Oh, I should have saved a copy of that one. Oh well. It's no big deal recreating this. So I'm going to subdivide this one. I'm going to risk it to add a really high density again. Oh, let's just step back to that one. Keep it simple. And we're going to send it to Wrapper. And I prefer to have textures oriented roughly the same orientation I got my models. So we're gonna, that's gonna be, that's flipped, isn't it? Right. So this matches that view now. I always seem to have to rotate about 90 degrees. I'm not sure if it's something about the UV space between SketchUp and Wrapper, but anyway, that could be coincidence. So kind of wasting space on this current mesh as we got because I'm only using like half the texture, but that's a different thing. I'm not even sure if I need to use square textures. I haven't tried. I might try that at a different time. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing we did previously. Save UV, hood, subd, SVG, save that one, file, and then save the mapping back into the model. Let it do its thing in the background. And we're going to start new texture. And we're going to do place linked. I do place linked because then I could export again and it's just going to update easily. Hood subd. There you go. So let's start with this many textures. I think I want to do a red hood because I like to rest in the front here. It fits for the purpose of this. And I'm going to size it up. Like that. Like that. Yeah. There you go. Layer paint and then solid color, backfill, plonk it in there. So let's do that. Okay. I'm gonna do red on red doesn't work that well for me. I'm gonna change it to white using an overlay color and just tone it down so I get a nice hint of what's behind. So I'm gonna move it further up so you have that rust patch flaking paint in the front of it, and then this is that little indent, little shape on the hood. The way I look at it is like this is further down, so it's less weathered, being slightly, it's not exposed as everything else. So I'm going to pull in another. Let's do that one. And I think, yeah, let's do that. What shades around the edges. And then again, we're going to do a play mask hide all. Do similar to the rest part, the previous one. And then turn down the size. Do that. So get some shadows around that area there. So because of that, it's an indent and it's not grey stuff at the same level as the rest of the bonnet. That paint is still smoother. I think I'm going to try to add a little bit extra shadow around the ridge, just for the sake of it. Not sure if it makes much sense, but just to emphasize it a bit more. Why is this sometimes using the pen backs up? Okay, this is weird. I have my hand in a strange position right now, so I'm not drawing smooth lines that well. It's too crowded on my desk. Just gonna do that first, and then using the eraser. Oops, that's a bit too much lagging in it. Come on, where's the step backward? There we go. So I don't have to be accurate at all. Let's quickly do that. And turn off that and set opacity to something much less. Right, just a little bit more. Just, yeah, like it's been collecting dirt around there. Guess add some more rest to this one as well. Different kind of rest. Let's go for it. Let's add that to the top. And layer mask, hide all. And bigger brush, much bigger brush. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Alright, fine. I can use that size anyway. Okay, that's enough anyway. Let's hide that. Hit save. Hood. Sub D. Save. Okay. And export. And yes, I did save that one. So now we can go back to wrapper, reload. Does that magic disappearing trick again? Now we can see how part of that UV texture has been mapped onto it. Can exit. Let's do smooth edges before. All smooth, really smooth. What is that? White shading. That's strange. It makes no sense at all. Oh, I think the subdivision has screwed up the mesh. Oh well. It works for our purpose anyway. So hood sub the PNG, which is a texture, and there you go. Yeah, that shadow bit was a bit too strong, too much. Why is a hard line there? I don't know. Oh, because I drew one. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So that's how you can easily build up these texture for the maps. And wrappers seem to work quite well, even with this kind of mesh. I'm gonna. This is gonna be horribly dense again, but just for the sake. I mean, because this one has all these two scoops, and it has all these corners and creases and odd shapes. So let's go and just send that to wrapper. And even that one, with no extra work, it just does it. It unwraps the whole thing to this flat surface that we can use to generate the mesh. One thing is, again, it seems to see the scoops are facing downwards while I don't know, there's something with the axe. I don't quite understand. Or at least not, doesn't seem as intuitive as me. How does this rotate work? If I move, okay, it's to the x-axis of where you started clicking. Move, scale it down a little bit. Move. Okay. The UVs are larger over here, a bit more squashed over here, but I guess that's because you got so much more creasing and weird geometry here that it's hard not to do that. There's probably something messed up with my mesh. Right about there, the shading is a bit odd, but I think we can get rid of that as well. This door is far away from being complete. I'm done anyway. I've been remodeling that so many times. Okay, one last time. Let's just do that. Door, sub D, and then save the UVs. Go to Photoshop and do new. Let's find. Well, do for this one. Another blue, more dense. That could be a door. Well, yeah, sure. Go for it. We need the guides anyway. And again, I'm going to change this into white. Turn opacity down a bit. Let's find color. Put it to the bottom. And down. Group it. What to do with this one? Let's try what I did previously. I'm gonna take. I wonder if this is better. Yeah, that's the next one. That works quite well, because I think I will want to zoom in. Okay. And then we do slightly smaller brush this time. So that the ridges in. Yeah, that rust texture is probably a bit too large. Flakes are much larger. I don't care about that right now. I don't care about nothing. And then that's ridge as well, where it goes. It's be exposed, it's weathered. Some rest at the bottom. Larger rust spot down there. Come on, what is it? Okay. Could probably find a better brush to actually apply this, which has a less smooth edge to it. Slim this down, make them sharper. Smaller brush again. Go on, there you go. Yep. Okay, and it's a bit too much. Trim that down to point. Try to bleed out in the corner of it. Yeah, I want that thing to come out a little bit. The whole section could be slightly more worn. So I don't know. Here we go. Okay, that's enough. That's way more fiddly detail than needs to be. So that's going to be a thing. We just highlighted some of the corners with some wear and tear and rust. That one kind of bothers me. Kind of bothers me a lot. Yeah, okay. Let's just do one last. Clone. There's a clone brush. It's been too long since I used Photoshop. Healing brush tool. Sample current and below. Let's go and pick that one. I'm gonna go magic that away. I didn't magic away. Wait, that was less magic. No one's gonna see that anyway. Alright, that thing. Okay, we're committed now. Let's go and fix that one as well. Oh, do that. Okay. Alright. That's really, really enough fiddling. This is the door. Save the originals, and quick export as PNG. Save that. Wrapper is done. Close that. Go back to SketchUp and reload from wrapper. Oh, get it back. Okay, there we go. Soft and smooth. I don't like these softened edges being stuck in there. 2016. Oh well. Okay. Now let's find that texture and door safety. That brush was horrible, but completely missed that corner over there. But yeah, that could be. Oh, there's a ridge going over there. That's interesting. That's okay. Well, let's try that just to demonstrate. Get that back. Okay, I was reading the topology wrong, and that's partly because with all these triangles, it's much harder to read. If it supported the quads, we could have seen the flow a lot easier. So, for instance, from that point, we have. Yeah, okay, we have something going on over there. So let's go back to the rest layer. Add some paint further in there. And then I'm going to remove some of that. I didn't like our file to it. And then I believe that if I do. Oh, where is it? And that should be slightly bigger. That should be that ridge. It should be around there. Now this one is too far down. So it's going to go further up. What's that? Yeah, there. Okay, let's go and draw that part and then taper it up that way. Okay. And then there's a ridge going up there. That one. Just leave that alone. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Okay, let's save that and quick export and save. Yes. And then there's no reload, I'm just going to click open and do that. Oh, great. Oh, I forgot to hide the guidelines. In the process, I did notice I was doing. I misjudged these as well. So let's do that. Another part. Let's touch up that. hide that because we don't want to see that in SketchUp because it's ugly. And then once more. Do that, hit enter. And I missed the ridge again, but I don't really care anymore. Yeah, the textures are really bad, but point proven in terms of how well this wrapper tool is for SketchUp in terms of being able to create these textures, because without it you have to completely eyeball it. And previously, this is what I would do previously. Take that one, make that unique. Okay, so if I wanted to map this one, I would go and do something like this. Right, now I could actually use one of my own extensions that extracts the bounding box of an object, but I forgot I had that. Anyway, right, the old way of mapping things would be to take one of these, get texture, use this material, find that material, map it onto this thing, and position, scale it up, done. Okay, sample it, so you now got a continuous little mapping over there, and then you go there. And then I get continuous mapping from this point to that point, but I don't get continuous mapping to the other point. So you got to pick and choose. Just kind of, but okay. Let's just group that, keep that away, and then I'm going to sample that face. I'm going to jump into this. Oh, of course. Once tag that as projected, and excuse me. Okay, now select these faces and apply that. Now that's the side texture I first used, and as you can see that doesn't really work well for the top one, but that's why we select these edges, these, okay, and then right click and noise tools, quad face tools, and then select quad from edges. Right, that's what we want. And we're going to sample the top one and go and map that over there, which, as you can see, we get these little seams which might not always be visible, but it tends to be. Well, that was how I used to map things. Has the benefit of being easier to use sometimes in terms of being a bit more quick and dirty. You only use one texture, random one. instead of having to create these. But these looks nicer if you just spend a little bit of time just sampling that up, as opposed to, as you can see here now, we've got this backside, and I did that. Here we go, I found it. Yeah. This is also a bit fiddly. Rich, if you're actually watching all of this, then yes, you have to keep working on this wrapper stuff, because this is horrible. Wrapper is awesome. And delete that, don't need that anymore. That would be the old way of just doing that and get these weird artifacts in there. But it's so much nicer once you just have like a proper unwrapped mesh that you can generate these textures for. I should probably do a little example where you have basically all of this into one single texture. That's useful for some game engines like City Skylines, for instance. Okay, for the sake of this, just go just that vertex. Delete that one. Okay. I got both techniques in the same color. Yeah. Should I render something? Did I don't have. Maybe I disabled it. Could be in a different SketchUp version how it installs. All over the place. There we go. Tier and V-Ray. I've actually been a V-Ray guy, but I'm playing around with Tier just for the sake of it. And let's find it. Tier for SketchUp. I like Tier tool. Let's do. Yes, let's do a real-time thing. Oh, let's do a little fancy thing we do with blended with SketchUp, multiply with SketchUp. I don't actually know what that means. What does that look? Oh, that's cool. With the edges. Oh, that's cool. Multiplied. Kind of neat as well. Getting slightly distracted, but yeah, okay, this is. I like this. Now, from that, this could go on and create a specular map from where all the metal paint is, using color select in Photoshop and extract all the blue pixels there, and from there add that as a specular layer into the rendering engine, so you get some reflection shininess onto that. Maybe maybe manage to do a little bump map as well to simulate some of this. I'm not going to do that right now. That's a possibility. I think that's enough for now. Simple UV unwrapping mapping methods in SketchUp. Okay. And that's a wrap. Pun intended.